Hi, I'm Kottaveinflux, and every day is a journey into my mind. I gently welcome you into my imagination and the next season of my life. So, today I'm picking up on something I was talking about yesterday a little bit, and I know it sounds strange, but it's about blowing bubbles. I mentioned it when I was talking about childhood and keeping your childlike wonder and your creativity and your inner child alive. So, as an educator, I know people don't believe me, but there are literally, ooh, little bug, okay, off my flowers. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, as an educator, one of two supplies I buy every year as an art educator are you remember the 64 box of crayons? And it got special. Crayons got special at 64. You know why? Because it came with the crayon sharpener on the back. Now, that sharpener never worked well for me. But the idea that not only at this elevated state of 64 crayons, you got that sharpener, you had the box. So I always buy a box of those to remind me of youth and childhood. And that crayon smell is something about it. Something about that waxiness of those Crayolas with that sharpener is so good. So that's the one supply I buy. But the other one I've bought from the beginning, and I even buy it and keep it in my purse, and that's bubbles. Okay? When was the last time you blew bubbles? And I don't mean I'm pissed and mad, like, right? But it's almost the same thing. I carry them in my purse. I take them with me many places where I go because guess what blowing bubbles does? You can't blow a bubble without breathing in and blowing out. And just even doing that without the bubbles in front of you a couple of times, it calms you, it brings you down. But I've learned as a creative in those moments of being frustrated that blowing those bubbles forces me to like come down a bit, get rid of like whatever I'm feeling. And it's the most incredible, quick feeling of forced relaxation. And I say forced because I voluntarily blow the bubbles, but it's forced because it forces me to slow down, take that deep breath several times and blow out. Okay. And that's why I keep bubbles. Like today I've been here and I made a bunch of small pieces. I don't like any of them. I've made them and I'm so frustrated with myself. And that's part of being a creative and an artist. And I have this amazing opportunity to be here and create. And I feel like I've got to do something. But everything you make is not good. I tell my students that, I'm telling myself that. And I had to remind myself of that today. Everything I make is not good. And by good, I mean I'm dissatisfied with it. I am not drawn to it. And so on the flip side, I can't expect anyone else to be drawn to the work I created. But on the heels of that, a nap and some tears. Or was it? No, it was the tears and then the nap. You know, that cry sleep slaps. So I woke up with a great idea of how to pivot and what to do next to make these pieces I don't love so much, pieces I at least like a little bit, or maybe I can parlay them into something different. So I'm pivoting. Had a conversation with a friend and I don't know if it helped, but at least it was an answer, and I'm pivoting and remembering the nostalgia of just the moment of creating. It's not about the end result necessarily. You know, you want to have something you're pleased with at the end of a creative journey, end of a creative day, some new materials, a fresh thought. But sometimes it just does not gel. It doesn't come together. And that was my today. And so though I'm displeased, I'm going to wrap up today in my sketchbook, formulating the idea for where I would like to take it next. It gave me a little anxiety. So I suffer from like social anxiety, some slight panic attacks. And I also am an introvert. I don't know why people don't believe I'm an introvert. I know y'all see me doing stuff and hula hooping and posting stuff, but I'm by myself when I'm doing that. I just share it with y'all. I'm outside picking and smelling these flowers. I'm spending a lot of time with my internal self, with quiet moments of being with other people. And when I'm with other people, particularly a crowd, I need time to recover from that. And I think this is why that inner child and blowing bubbles and all those little moments that bring me to calm are important, because I've learned to self-pace myself, self-calm, self-soothe in the moments I need it. Nature always works in that way for me as well, which is why I went out and picked this purple honeysuckle and my whole room smells like it. I love the way it smells, and visually, I love the way it looks. A lot of people don't believe me, but if I had done a PhD, it would have been in botany. I love the architecture of flowers and plants and root systems visually. So I would have done something with that. But still, I incorporate them into my work a little bit, and I intend to do a little bit more of that going forward. And I have learned to truly believe in myself sometimes, even when I'm quite unbelievable. I know sometimes I do stuff like, you're doing what? You're going where? Wait a minute. How are you? Sometimes I don't ask the what, when, where, how, when. That's how you talk yourself out of stuff. Sometimes I just leap off the cliff and build wings on the way down. Me and Icarus homeboys. Homegirl. I'm Icarus's homegirl because I will fly a little bit too close to the sun, knowing the chance of the wings melting is great. But sometimes I fly. And so those are the risks you take when you choose to try and engage and tap down deep into yourself and be a creative. This is not an easy life. And I don't do art full time. I have another job. And so those people doing it full time, shout out to you. It is not for the faint at heart. And most artists I know do not do it for the money. The money is a sidebar, is a byproduct of the intuitive creativity they were given and the gifts they were given. And if, you're much like me, I'm trying to use everything up before I leave this earthly plane. I want to use everything, all my writing, all my art making, all of my food making, everything, my twirling, my freedom, my just being present. I want to use up all of this life I've been given and do enough that says I've been here, right? To do enough that says I have been here. So one of the things I challenge y'all all to do is go out today, get some bubbles. Wedding bubbles are the best kind. They're little vials, easy to slide in your pocket, purse. They blow good and they hit the ground and they land dry. So you don't have to worry about a lot of wet spots. But I challenge you to go blow bubbles. When was the last time you did that? When was the last time you took a deep breath, inhaled and exhaled? When was the last time you were honest with yourself about the fact that, you've kind of let go of that little inner child and pulled from that place for your creativity? I did it today, and even though I didn't like what I produced, the making was the journey for today. And I accept that today, the making was the journey. So as I continue to move forward, I hopefully will surprise myself, maybe surprise you. I haven't shared anything that I've done here because I've just gotten started. I don't know that I will. The last artist residency I went to, I still haven't posted that work or shared it. I don't know if I like it or I'm satisfied with it. And at the end of the day, if you like my work, I'm grateful, but I make it for myself, from myself, and whatever comes through my spirit. And yeah, so my work, my art is not performative. It's a spiritual endeavor. And so I'll continue to blow bubbles on those days of being frustrated. I will continue to deep breathe and remember being a child. And I will push myself sometimes in a forced relaxation. Sometimes it might be tears and naps like it was today. But I am Kottaveinflux, living my life with no ceiling, no floor, no walls, no box, just the world. I hope you'll come back tomorrow. If you enjoyed this talk, please like, subscribe, and share. And if you're so moved, please leave a comment, and I'll be back tomorrow.